Good afternoon. My name is Ben Burnett, and I'm the Dean of Education at William Carey University, in addition to being the Executive Vice President of the university. We're so glad that you could join us today for our online graduate program recruiting event. We'd certainly love to be talking to you face-to-face and in person, but during this pandemic, we know that that's not an option. But we also feel like that virtually we can reach more of you all across the country to talk to you about our online programs here at William Carey University. If you're not familiar with us, William Carey is the oldest higher ed institution in South Mississippi. We have our first classes back in 1892, so we are a very long-standing, well-established presence here in South Mississippi. We have campuses here in Hattiesburg, but also on the Gulf Coast in Biloxi, Mississippi. In addition to a full four-year medical school, we have a physical therapy school that leads to a doctorate in physical therapy. We have a pharmacy school at our Biloxi campus, along with a host of other programs on both of our campuses. The School of Education, however, still comprises more than 25% of the entire university, and we have been in the business of educating teachers and leaders well over a century. Many things that we think makes us stand out when you're choosing for graduate programs against other universities and colleges across the nation. We're certainly affordable and very competitive from a financial standpoint, but we also have a different setup on a trimester system. We're not on a traditional semester system. Our terms are 10-week terms, and so we have 4 10-week terms within a year. Our programs, some of our programs can be completed in as little as 1 year, but most of our specialist programs will take 15 months or a year and 10 weeks to complete. So that makes us a little bit different. In addition to that difference, our faculty of William Carey University is just different than most colleges and universities that you will see. Our faculty here on both of our campuses spent a career in K-12 education before coming here to higher education. Our faculty for the School of Education averages more than 27 years experience in K-12 education. So if you choose us and trust us with furthering your graduate school education at the master's, specialist, or doctoral level, you'll be interacting and learning with someone who spent a career in K-12 first. So they understand what you're going through with the demands of life and school and what the demands of K-12 education with parents, accountability, and the constantly demanding changes of student behavior. So we think that we're set apart and that we're different, and our challenge and our passion is to continue to answer the call to teach that our faculty answered some 30, 40, and some 50 years ago as we lead the next generations of teachers and leaders. Hope you'll enjoy hearing about our programs. We look forward to answering some of your questions live here this afternoon, but then we also are here for the duration. We're not going anywhere. We're just one click away, and we look forward to helping you.
Hello, my name is Teresa Poole, and I serve as Associate Dean for the School of Education. And I also serve as one of the instructors for our curriculum and instruction programs. Tonight I have the pleasure of just talking to you about the many programs that we offer online. The first one is our elementary Masters of Education in Elementary. We have found that teachers who teach in K-6 are actually able to sharpen their skills in the classroom and learn some things from their colleagues as well as from our instructors. We also have a secondary education Masters of Education. We also offer, for those who are interested in a content area, we have 100% online content areas in history, mathematics, and English. We found that when you would like, the students who are interested in secondary education are also interested in teaching at the collegiate level or maybe at a dual enrollment at their high school. And for those teachers who are working with students with disabilities, we also have a Masters of Education in Mild and Moderate and Emotional and Behavior Disorders. And if that's not enough for you, you can move on to the specialist programs. We have a specialist program in instructional leadership. That one is for those teachers who want to be the instructional leader in their classrooms. That's not an administrative degree, but it's important. Most schools are looking for people who are leaders in their content areas, and this is a great program to start. We also have a specialist in the emotional behavior disorders for those teachers who are looking for a graduate level program in that area. Our final online education program is our doctorate in ed leadership. We offer that online. That means that you do not have to come to the campus, even though it's a gorgeous campus. We want to make sure that you have the flexibility and the convenience of having your classes and the flexibility of your schedule. So if you're interested and we'd like to learn more about our programs, we're going to have Mr. Terry Ingram, our recruitment specialist, to come to talk to you about some things that you may have questions about, logistical things. And so we'll be here after his presentation to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Terry Ingram. I'm the graduate recruiter at William Carey University for the School of Education. It's great to be here with you today, and I hope that I can give you some information that will be helpful to you if you decide to choose one of our programs for your graduate school. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the application process for William Carey. Your first step would be to go to our website, which is wmcarey.edu. Once you get to the website, graduate admissions would be the next selection that you would make, and that is one of the links on our web page. So you'd choose graduate admissions, and once you do that, then you would see the list of all the programs in education. You would go to the program that you're interested in and click on that and start the application for the program. I want to talk to you a little bit about that. If you have everything you need, such as knowing who your references are going to be and so on, it will only take you about 10 or 15 minutes to complete that application. So it is not a lengthy process, and it's very easy to do. Once you've submitted your application, you will receive information that you have a $40 application fee, and you can pay that at that time using your credit card, or it can be added on in your tuition fees and so on. So you will have the choice, and you will get to decide which way you'd like to do that. As you go through the application process, each program has a separate set of requirements. So each application is specific to the program that you're applying for. As far as having your transcripts and things like that, that can all be done through eScript, just overnight pretty much from the universities or colleges that you have any degrees can just be overnighted through eScript to William Carey University, and that would go to the Office of Graduate Admissions. So things like that that used to be complicated are now very easy if you haven't been in school for a while. Also, I'd like to add that during this process, anytime you need support, you can email Graduate Admissions at graduateadmissions@wmcarey.edu to answer any questions and so on. Another important point I want to bring up is that during the application process, there's not anyone in the School of Education that would be able to help you because you have to have a complete application on file in Graduate Admissions before they will send your application to the School of Education. So it is very important that you communicate with Graduate Admissions and that you get everything on file that's a part of the application process, and so that your file can be sent to the School of Education. During that time, I can also provide you support, and my email address is tingram@wmcarey.edu, and I would love to hear from you. That's one of my favorite parts of my job, is getting to hear from people and being able to communicate with you, whether it's through email or any other way to provide support for you. So again, I love doing that. It's part of my job, and don't hesitate to email me if I can help you in any way. So it's been great to talk with you today, and I hope that the information I've given you will be helpful to you, and we look forward to you being a student at William Carey University.
All right, so you've heard now from our Associate Dean, Dr. Poole, and our graduate recruiter, Mr. Ingram. We've had a few questions that have come in that we're going to answer, and you can post questions. We'll get to as many of them as we can, even answering them live on Facebook today. But also you can go back and review these because it'll be on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page from here on out. But also feel free, if you have a specific question, there's a link you can send a specific question, we'll get back with you. Now, at the bottom of the page, I believe that's being shown right now, I've got about 4 or 5 direct links, so you don't have to look around on our website about how do I apply, where do I go. We've got a direct link that goes right to the graduate application, and a link that goes directly to our programs, as well as one that goes directly to financial aid information, and also the costs for each one of the programs. So any of those things that you have questions on, you can just link below what you're seeing right now and get those answers. But we're going to answer a few questions, and maybe even from some of these questions we'll have a few others that might pop up between the experience of Mr. Ingram and Dr. Poole. The first one was, how long do our programs take? And I believe kind of alluded to this in my introduction, that some of our master's programs can be completed in 12 months. Because we're on the trimester system for 10-week terms. So if you choose to, some of our online MED programs can be completed in as little as 12 months, right, Dr. Pearl?
Right. I've had some students who want to take it slow, so they will come in and they'll start out, or some who want to get a promotion at the end of the school year.
Right.
So we've had them to complete it in a year, as well as some, like I said, some who want to ease back into school. They've been out of school for a little while, and so they want to ease into it. And it takes them about, the longest, about 18 months.
And some of the online programs are prescriptive as far as you'll be taking them in a cohort fashion with other students and moving along. But with every program, you have the flexibility if the program calls for 2 classes in a term and you have a life event going on, and we better than anybody understand what's going on with K-12 educators, you can only take 1 class if you want to and then jump back in. Or we even have some students who will take a trimester off and then come back in. So it is flexible. Anything to add with that, Mr. Ingram?
I believe you've covered it all.
All right. Had a question here about what about textbooks? Dr. Poole, that's your specialty, not mine.
Textbooks. Most of the classes that you'll have will have a recommended textbook, and we have a textbook, a bookstore on our campus. You can actually order your book online if you don't live near the campus. You can also order an ebook. I found those to be very economically sound. Most people use the ebooks because that's what students do these days. So we found that that the textbooks, we try to work to make sure the textbooks are always up to date, but we don't want to break you either. So we want to make sure that all of our students have resources that they'll need and that they can use in their classrooms.
Right, absolutely. The next question is about course delivery and the format. And that's probably one of the most important questions, because you may be sitting there saying, I've never taken an online class. What's it going to look like? Can I do that? Is it complicated? And today's educators have to be technology proficient and savvy, because especially this last season of our life, you've had to deliver coursework to your children on the fly by virtual means. But ours is not difficult at all. We use an LMS system called Canvas. A lot of you are probably familiar with that. It's like many other learning management programs, and it's pretty simple to maneuver around in. In all of our courses, you meet at your convenience. So the week will be laid out for the week of what's due, and modules will be added for lectures from professors, assignments, and what you're supposed to do. So it's not where you'll have to be in one certain place at Thursday at 7 o'clock, because everybody out here has a different kind of schedule. So we'll be flexible with your schedule that way.
And I love the Canvas app. I'm able to check my classrooms, my classes online and with my phone, so that helps out a great deal. So that's a great app to have with the course.
Another thing that I think is just a great asset for our students that works really well is that you, as Dr. Burnett mentioned, it's very flexible as far as when you get on, but a lot of times our trimesters, you've got Christmas break in the middle or maybe Thanksgiving break, things like that, and when a professor publishes their class, they publish the entire 10 weeks. So you really can work ahead of time or work at your own schedule to submit assignments and things like that. So things like that really allow a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility to our programs using Canvas and all. So that's a great benefit from our students that I hear all the time. This is really something that I can do and work and manage my family life and so on.
Now, one question that didn't come in, but it just kind of popped in my mind, what about current conditions of, will we have school in the fall? What's going to be coming up? Well, the beauty about these programs is the pandemic will have no impact on us with our online graduate programs. And about 80% of our School of Education are 100% online here at William Carey University. So we didn't have to transition into this. We just kept on going with what we're already doing. So every program that we're talking to you about today, every program that's on our website is going to be there come August. And we start classes August the 24th for the fall term. Some of these programs we're talking about also have a midsummer start, the first week of July. So if some of you are saying, look, I want to go ahead and get admitted and get maybe one class under my belt, we have some of them broken down into 5-week terms. And so some of the programs you could actually start in July and get one course out of the way before the August start. But we're going to be here regardless of what the condition of the world and our country is. Come August, we're going to be here with our programs. Next question talks about defending your dissertation if you're a doctoral student. All right, so say if you live 4 states away or more than that from South Mississippi, our doctoral program in educational leadership is an educational doctorate, and it is 100% online. And we routinely, not just during the pandemic, but even before this has hit, we routinely have students defend their proposal, which is your first 3 chapters of your dissertation, and your final dissertation virtually. So we have a room in the School of Education dedicated with a WebEx board and a very nice setup, so the dissertation committee, the doctoral committee, can meet with students that way, face-to-face, but then you can also defend without even coming on campus. We've had many doctoral students who will come on campus for the first time for the ceremony when they receive their doctoral hood at graduation. So, and we would love for you to pay a visit to campus at the end of your program, but that would be the same thing for your specialist degree or your master's degree, that there are no on-campus requirements, from registration to paying your fees to coming through. And we're a campus, not just an online school with a couple of buildings. We have a full presence here on our campus, and our faculty have offices here, so you can call, you can email, and then you can meet virtually with those. Anything to add with that?
I think that's it.
All right. And last point about the doctoral, well, 2 last points about the doctoral program. If you have a specialist degree from another institution going because our specialist degree is basically the first half of our doctoral program, first 30 hours. And so if you have a specialist from another institution, we will accept that specialist, and we'll review that to make sure there are no gaps with that in going into our doctoral program. But you don't have to start from scratch if you already have a specialist degree from another institution. And also, we have suspended the GRE requirement for admission in our doctoral program. Our next doctoral cohort for the Ed Leadership degree starts this coming winter, which will be in October. That's when our winter term starts, and the application deadline for that is August the 1st. And we've had a GRE requirement as one of the admission requirements, but that has been suspended for this next cohort. So if you want to get in under the wire before the GRE is being given again, and possibly might have to take that, this would be the time to get in.
One thing, Dr. Burnett, I'd like to add about that, in hearing from so many of our doctoral students, one of the things that I think is a great asset to our doctoral program is that while you're actually in the program, you're working on the first 3 chapters of your dissertation. So our students love that they're getting support and help, and as they move through classes, they're actually beginning to get some things in writing. So you don't complete the coursework and then begin writing your dissertation. Right. It's a great setup. And again, I hear from students, working students that are out teaching every day and have young families and so on, that say, I could not have done this if it weren't set up the way that it is. So I think that's another great part of our doctoral program.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the immediate questions we have, and we'll jump on there and start. We've been answering some online as they've been coming in that you'll see scrolling. We'll continue to do that after this is over, and then we'll stay with you as long as we need to through email and through Facebook to answer your questions. But we hope that you'll check us out. William Carey University is a special place, and our goal, our mission, our passion is to help people get to the next place in their life educationally so they can help children get to the next place of their life. So thanks for your time today, and we pray God's blessings on you and your family as you navigate this very difficult time in our nation and our world's history.
I'm Andy Scoggin. I'm a current student in the William Carey University Educational Leadership Program, the doctoral candidate. I'm currently in my last 3 trimester courses. Been in the program since early last year. One of the reasons I chose William Carey is obviously when you look for a university with strong academic content, William Carey fits that descriptor. Second thing is when you're looking for an online program, you're looking for obvious convenience, but something that's grounded in practicality. The instructors that I have here are all former K-12 administrators. They understand the practical aspects of the job, and they tailor the assignments and the coursework based upon that. I feel like that there's definitely a connection beyond the convenience. William Carey staff have been really great in reaching out and understanding that in my current role that there are things day to day that I must deal with, but they understand also the communication factor, the feedback on assignments, all those things that lend itself to being a very well organized program for educational leaders.